G'day! Today in episode 471 of Trent365, we take a look at hearing and listening in a noisy world. You like what I did there? We're going to take a look at listening. G'day. For a point of clarity, hearing is defined as something we do kind of involuntarily. We hear stuff whether we like to or not, as long as we're within earshot. Listening, on the other hand, is when we actively seek something out to hear it and understand it. And the problem in today's noisy world is it's sometimes really hard to know whether you've been heard or whether you've in fact been listened to. And a big part of that is the social networks, these social media tools that we use to basically distribute the information. For example, if you were watching this video on LinkedIn, then it would show me that you had viewed it. And in theory, that means that you've heard it. If you were to maybe like it or reshare it or forward the message on, then that would suggest, or comment perhaps, that would suggest that you've actually listened. You've really understood what I was saying because you've now added a comment or you've decided to share that with somebody else. The problem there is that a lot of times we like stuff, share it, repost it, even after we haven't listened to it. We do it just because we maybe like the person or because we've liked some of their previous stuff. But it certainly doesn't necessarily mean that the message has gotten through. And so I think it's important to understand that when you're producing content, when you're trying to spread any message, whether it's an advertising message, or whether it's a brand message, or whether it's just, sort of more a personal message like some of the stuff that I do, it's important to understand that even if people like it and share it, that doesn't really mean they've listened to it. It may mean that they've heard it. It doesn't mean they've really understood it. And so that's why I think this idea of repetitive content is actually not such a bad thing, because the algorithms, as we've spoken about before, will usually stop you sort of spamming people with the same message over and over again. So think about that as you're producing content. It might take you 3 or 4 or 5 times sending out that same message to have it actually listened to. Alrighty, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.